Send me your convicts. I am all alone here and Rob wants to get laid. Mature way to handle people getting arrested and doing bad things, Rob. Good job. Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now today I wanted to go ahead and cover a topic that has been very near and dear to my heart. I've been getting a lot of questions on my Twitch streams and on the YouTube channel because, as many of you guys have been seeing, there's been a bit of a transformation from 2018 Rob to 2019 Rob, and I can definitely thank keto for being the big catalyst of all of that. So I figured that today, since times are changing, I'm changing, things are improving in the ketoverse, that I would go ahead and tell you a couple of my favorite tips for keto in 2019. Okay, so if I'm gonna be completely honest with you, the first two tips that I'm gonna share with y'all are gonna be a bit on the boring side. However, do take it from somebody that's, you know, been on keto for almost a year now, lost over 45 pounds on it, and is still going strong. I got little pearls of wisdom that I want to share before we get into all the good stuff, and trust me, there are some really good stuff coming to the keto world. Alright, so starting things off, at number one, I want y'all to keep it basic. Now, I know there's a lot of things going down on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram. There's all of this information hitting you at once. You're like, do I do this with intermittent fasting? What is MTT oil? Do I absolutely need it in my diet? What is going on with my macros? Like, don't stress out too much, okay? All I want you to go ahead and do is keep yourself under 20 net carbs a day. You can be a little, just a tiny bit over. You can be a little bit under. Under is always better. You can hit 20 right on the dot, whatever it is. Just keep yourself at that 20 grams of net carbs. Now, if you don't know what net carbs is, and keep in mind that this is labeling for the US because it's a little bit different when you get into Europe and other nations, but we do have something on our bars that are listed as total carbs, right? And then you'll go ahead and see underneath that dietary fiber. You can subtract that. If you see something like sugar alcohols, you can subtract that. If you see something called like erythritol, that's a sugar alcohol, you can subtract it too. And because we are in 2019, I'm gonna put it out there, we also have allulose, which is a rare sugar that hasn't made it to the market. And technically, it's labeled as a sugar, so it's gonna seem like it's bad, but you can subtract that as well because the body doesn't digest that the same way as it digests standard sugars. So keep yourself under those 20 net carbs. Now you know the equation, all right? And then as you kind of grow and develop and start learning new things and seeing how they work for you, that's when you start incorporating other stuff. Just don't stress yourself out because sometimes having all of that information hit you at once can be a little bit, can make you want to drive in the other direction. Alright, so tip number two is a follow-up for the first tip, and this is definitely if you're a newcomer to keto. One of the things I don't want you to do is overbuy. Now, I get really excited about keto, all of the options that are currently out there on the market. However, I have some friends that were feeding off of that energy and they started jumping on board the keto train too. They started buying all of the protein powders that are low carb, all of the MCT oils. They got themselves some coconut oil, some ghee, all of that good stuff. And keto was just not for them. They were not able to stay on the keto train because if I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I think that the best diet for anyone is a diet that is sustainable to them. Now for me, keto is extremely sustainable, so you know, I can invest. I can start buying cases of Quest chips. I'm good off of that kind of stuff, you know? But if you are just starting out with keto, the thing that I would recommend is go to the supermarket, get yourself a roast chicken, go buy a steak, maybe try out like one easy keto recipe off of the internet, buy a couple bunless burgers, whatever you gotta do to get yourself through the first maybe 1 or 2 weeks to see exactly how you feel about it. Are you enjoying the meals you're eating? Is your body feeling better? And if all that's a yes, start investing. Get your credit card out and start going to all of the really cool companies that are doing interesting things, which we'll talk about in the next point. But until you've made it past that like week and a half, 2 week mark, after you've maybe gone through the keto flu and you're like coming out the other side and you're like, I feel fabulous now, even though I wanted to, you know, murder myself like 2 days ago, now I'm on the good side of that. So once you get there, make your decisions based on whether you want to stay in keto, you want to get deeper into that hole. Sometimes you got to get real deep in that hole for it to be good, but I'm just saying, Just don't buy too much too soon. Now, once you've decided that keto is definitely a thing that you're gonna be able to stick to, this is where the floodgates open, and so does your wallet, because let me tell you right now, if you haven't checked out what's going on online with keto, there are so many things that you can pick up, even in stores these days. There are definitely some amazing keto options, but let me just show you some of the things that you didn't think you had access to, but now you do have access to because it's 2019, honey. All right, so first things first, we have Quest, which is definitely one of my favorites because listen, you can have chips on keto. These are their protein chips. This is in the barbecue flavor. Definitely one of my favorites. I didn't like any of the other normal flavors except for the nacho cheese Dorito style. Yes, that's right. You can have nacho cheese chips Dorito style off of keto, and you pick them up from Quest. They've also got these hero bars, which are absolutely amazing. They're like candy bars. It's chocolate and caramel, and it's got this like cool almondy crunchy nougat. It's so freaking good. I'm telling you right now, definitely one of my favorites. And when I say you gotta open up your wallet a little bit, that's because when you order them online, you usually have to pick them up in like cartons, and I don't want you to jump in really quick. Like I'm not messing around. Like I'm buying the big stuff, right? Because they are absolutely fantastic. There are lots of channels right now that are covering all of these things, so if you guys are curious at all, just go ahead and do a little bit of a search for all of the new products that are coming out right now. We have No. Okay, let me tell you, this is just a small sampling of what No has. No has waffles, they have pancake mixes, they've got cookies, of course. They've also got these like little thin crisp things. I didn't like the garlic parmesan ones that they had. They were a little bit wonky, but if you get the standard ones, those are great for dipping into almond butter or like really anything that you want to go ahead and do that. Who knew that you could have little cracker crisps on keto, right? But it's 2019, times are changing, people are figuring some shit out. In fact, you can also have granola on keto. This is Gra-Pow, and this is their PB&J thumbprint. This is definitely my favorite flavor of the two that I've tried so far. But you can have it, and there's like big cookie chunks in this shit too. Who knew you can have peanut butter and jelly granola? It's 2019, that's what happens. Now, I don't want you guys to count some things out because there are some companies that are slowly emerging. We have Keto Geek, which have these energy pods. I ate it. I was gonna save it for on camera, but it was too delicious. I couldn't do it. It's like a pudding fudgy hybrid. You can even put it in like hot water to kind of like dissolve it and make it into a drink. Like there's so many things you could do with this. They have their chocolate fudge flavor. They also have this like pecan coconut one that I really like too. I'm definitely gonna have to order them, but they do come in, again, these kind of cases things. That's why I'm always saying, you guys, be careful before you jump in too deep, because you don't want a whole case of these items sitting around in your house if you're not doing the keto diet anymore. It just doesn't make any sense. And the last one that I wanted to go ahead and mention, I actually discovered, now, I'll be honest, I've been having a little bit of a harder time doing keto in San Diego, but I found this great place. Well, I didn't find it. A friend found it. A great place called Paleo Treats, and they have this. Okay, look at how big this is. Look at how, that's pretty damn big, right? This is basically like the paleo slash keto version of a chocolate peanut butter cup. It's freaking just nutso. I've been cherishing this. This is my last one. So like all of these companies are coming out with so many cool new products. I even saw one that was like cereal. Like it was this, oh no, 2019 is absolutely amazing for keto. So once you've decided to jump in, like you can really jump in, just like, you know, one thing at a time. Don't go broke. Moving along to number 4, we're gonna go ahead and keep that delivery train rolling, because while I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of living in a city, I do absolutely love food delivery. And let me just tell you, I have to confess, in December, I wasn't really doing much keto. I was definitely on what is known as SAD, the standard American diet. And trust me, I was not feeling very happy many of those days. I was definitely stressed and just out of desperation, using a lot of Uber Eats to fill my belly with not the greatest things out there. However, I knew in January I was gonna reel it back in, get it right, get it tight. And one of the things that I was feeling really sad about was the fact that, you know, I wasn't gonna be able to have these food delivery services. However, I'm gonna let past Rob take it away. That's right, you guys. Uber Eats can deliver you keto to your doorstep. all you gotta do is ask. And believe you me, there is nothing better after a stressful day than having piping hot keto food delivered to you via an app. All you gotta do, go downstairs and open your door. Now, I actually went ahead and discovered this because I'm a big fan of the burritos around here, and I started falling in love with adobada, I think, which is basically, I'm assuming, al pastor. They both taste very, very similarly, but I discovered that, oh, that's what they call it down here. So I was having all those burritos and I'm like, damn, I can't have those burritos anymore. And I was like, why not? I mean, there's a little comment section that's like notes to the kitchen down at the very bottom of the screen. Just leave them a note saying no tortilla, place in container. And you know what? I went ahead and did that for a couple of my favorite places in town, and 3 out of those 5 places didn't put a tortilla on it, slopped it in a plate, gave me some sour cream, and gave me some avocado. What is the avocado smash thing? I forget what it's called because I don't really like it. It's guacamole, that one. And they went ahead and tossed that in a container for me, and it was all set and all good. Tonight I actually went ahead and tested that out with Jack in the Box. As you saw, I was like, no bun, all caps, please, smiley face, and they were all but obliging. Now, the interesting thing here that you can also do is there are some places that I've actually been able to eat keto before, and if they get your order wrong and they put like some carbs in there that you were not asking for, you can actually go ahead, you know, I always say take a picture just to have proof. You can actually go ahead and send that over to Uber Eats and just say, hey, listen, this was my order, they delivered something to me that was not my order, and usually they'll go and review it, and sometimes they'll go ahead and refund the whole thing for you. So, you know, while there might be a little bit of a risk because you're really, really hungry and you want to eat something now, at least you know that if it's really bad and you can get some proof out there for them, they'll more than happily refund you your money. So you're gonna have to scrape some meat off of that burrito tortilla, but you know what? At least they got your check all set. And finally, at number 5, we have our last tip, at least for this specific video. If you are ever feeling trapped, uninspired, or just bored with keto, I implore you, go to the internet for inspiration. And I know this is a complete 180 from that very first tip I gave you guys, where it can be extremely overwhelming with all of the information out there hitting you like a tidal wave, but once you've been playing around with keto for a bit and once you've got your footing ready, go ahead and just dive face first into those waters, because one of the things that I always say is a diet doesn't work if the diet is not sustainable. And the thing about having a sustainable diet, it's about mixing things up and experiencing different foods and, you know, all of these things that are available to you. So what I really implore you to do is go ahead, check out Instagram, check out the, you know, keto tips, hashtags, go ahead and follow some like keto content creators out there that just inspire you with their recipes. Maybe they've got some tips as to what restaurants to go to and how to alter some of those dishes, because literally there is a plethora of knowledge out there, especially on YouTube. You have some great YouTube keto channels out there for you that'll help you kind of come up with dishes that you could try out. They'll do like reviews on new products that, you know, maybe you didn't know were coming out, but now they've got the information all out there for you. So definitely use the internet as your inspiration, because I know that I've been following some like Asian male models as my guilty inspiration to get my shit in shape. I'm just feeling bad. You know, I thought it was cute for a hot minute. Then I started using Instagram for my body inspiration, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be hard. But it does get me revved up. It does get me inspired. So don't hesitate to go ahead and follow these things. Just jump on into the ocean of keto that is coming in 2019. Alrighty, so those are the tips that I wanted to go ahead and share with you, especially if you are starting out in this day and age, because I feel like an old man saying this, but back in my day, we didn't have chips, we didn't have waffles, we didn't have all of this amazing stuff. Actually, we did. I was just not aware of it because I was not checking for the internet. But it's 2019 and we are going to use all of the information out there to help us make our lives a little bit easier on keto. So I really do hope that that helped. If you liked this video, go ahead and toss me a thumbs up. Do all the, do all the YouTube bullshit things, subscribe, whatever. Regardless, that about does it for me for now. This is why I'm not good at this stuff. Anyway, so as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys again next time. Bye-bye.